everyone, and welcome back to Growing with TJ. I'm out here in the garden. Just want to give you a quick update of what's going on and also go over a little bit about the frost we had last Wednesday and any damage that I noticed and what I did cover. I'm also going to be spraying some beneficial nematodes later. I'll go over that a little bit and kind of describe what I'm doing and my hopes with that and what they should be able to help in the garden. So let's go around the garden and show you what I got going on. We'll start back here by the garlic. You can see the garlic is looking just fine. The frost had no effect on the garlic whatsoever, which would be to be expected. That's very cold hardy, and obviously it overwintered, so no damage with the garlic. Here I planted a candy carrot on 330 and we still got nothing coming up, so it is taking a little bit for the candy carrots to pop up. Right here yesterday I planted some Instable carrot, so that'll be the third wave of carrots that I planted. So hopefully the candy pops up here shortly. Then in a couple weeks we'll get Instable, so then we'll be getting carrots throughout the spring. Back here, this lettuce did just fine. I will be doing a little harvest of the lettuce just to have some salad this week, but I don't see any damage at all from the frost on the lettuce back here. And none of this was covered. Obviously the carrots had the board on it, but garlic wasn't covered, and this lettuce back here was not covered. Over here we got the Reliance peach, which is in its third year. And there might have been a little bit of damage on the blooms, as you can see right here. But the majority of them did just fine. I'm going to be thinning that down. The flower's pretty heavy here. Since it's only its third year of growth, I'm going to cut back the flowers hard and just allow it to focus on the root system. But I'll probably leave a handful of the blooms, and the rest I will, there's a cat back there if you can see, way back, and just leave a handful of the blooms, and the rest I will take off. So we'll get a couple peaches this year, and then hopefully next year we'll really start amping up the fruit production. I'm going to leave it on some of the more sturdy branches, maybe one or two, but right there you can see. But any of these weak branches here, like how small that is, I will definitely take that off. I can do that now too if I wanted. But yeah, we don't want anything growing on that. Back here, I did plant another russet potato. That was just planted yesterday. One thing I want to say, I ordered from Fedco Seeds my seed potatoes, and they are taking a very long time to ship. They were supposed to ship on early April, and they're telling me it's not going to be to almost the end of April, maybe May. So I'm not too happy about that. I would hope to have gotten them by no later than mid-April, and that's not the case. So I don't know if I'll order from them next year. They're telling me they had a staff shortage, and that's why it's taking so long. But when I ordered my other seeds way back in the winter, they actually took over a month longer than any other seed companies that I ordered from, Johnny's and Baker Creek. So, they seem to be slow at shipping. And, I want to get my potatoes out throughout the month of April. Now it's looking like I'm going to have to, try and put them all out about the end of April, May. So I'm not too happy about that. Right here in the back there, I got the broccoli. That's a Comet broccoli. And this is a snow crown cauliflower. These 6 right here were covered. And there's a little bit of frost damage, as you can see. But the new growth looks okay. They're growing rather slowly. I did give them some fertilizer, water-soluble fertilizer. But if you look in here closely, it looks like something might be eating the cauliflower, especially right here. So I'm going to get my camera set up, and I should be able to see what's coming in here, or if maybe it's a slug, or I'm not sure. So we'll have to take a look at that. Right here, these two were not covered, and you can see they're a little more frost damage than the other ones. So covering them up did definitely help. Kind of did a little experiment there. Left two uncovered. But again, they should be just fine. And we finally have some good temperatures coming up. Last week, we had a ton of rain, pretty much cloudy all week. But this upcoming week, we're going to have some sunshine and better temperatures. And I think the frost is behind us, or at least I hope so. Over here, the onions were not covered from the frost. And just to mention, we did get down to about 25 degrees last Wednesday. But the the onions look pretty good. You can see, you know, they do have some that are dying, but the new growth, you know, is looking pretty good. So I gave them some fertilizer. We want to really get these green tops growing, getting a bunch of them, and that's going to give us the best looking onion. So again, hopefully with this temperatures coming up, some sunshine, they got a ton of water, hopefully they will start taking off. I believe a lot of this stuff in the garden is going to take off from that point on. So if you come over here, this is the mammoth sugar melting pea. There's a little bit of damage. I don't know if I can get in there and show you. But you can see some damage from the frost. Right here, a little bit, but they're going to be just fine. And I expect them to start taking off as well. I don't know if you can see in there. Keep my shadow out. Carrots are starting to get their true leaves coming on. And they handled the frost just fine. No problems at all. That's the first wave of carrots. Back here is the green arrow shelling pea. Yeah, they're all kind of just stalling out right now, but I'm hoping, again, this week will take off. Down here we have the crimson giant radish. And there is a little bit of damage from the frost, but not much. And they can take the cold, so they'll be just fine. You can see I do got a weed. That's all weeds right there, but we are getting some new growth from the raspberry. This is a Meek Raspberry. For the second year canes here, second year growth, we have nothing really happening yet. So it's still waiting to wake up on that sense. Definitely getting the second year, or the first new year growth, I'm sorry. It's starting to pop up. I'm starting to lay some fabric down for the pathways. This is like a wood bark. I'm not too thrilled with how this looks. I thought it was more mulchy. So I'll probably put a little layer of this down and then get some bigger mulch like I had in the past, which is like that. Just to try and keep the weeds down. That's all that's for. And I'm not too worried about, you know, necessarily what it looks like. Also, one thing I want to mention is, in the past, I would try and make my walkways, everything just look perfect. I'd be weeding, wasting a lot of time weeding the walkways. It's not very necessary. You know, me personally, I would like to see it perfect and no weeds anywhere in the garden, but that's just not realistic. You know, we got a lot of stuff to do. We got, you know, life going on. So when I get to the pathways, I get to them. But my main thing is I want to make sure anywhere that I have beds or stuff planted, I make sure to weed around there, and that's the most important. You know, when I get to the pathways, I get to the pathways. Right here is a dwarf curled kale, and it is finally starting to pick up here. Very slow, but I expect it to get going here shortly. We got a baby leaf spinach in the back there, and then right here is a purple fusion that I just direct sowed. I'm not seeing much coming up yet. This is the sunflower that I was talking about, how they're volunteering already, and curious how the frost would, how it would handle the frost. And you can see there's some frost damage, but it looks like it is going to be just fine. So, surprising how quickly the volunteers come up, how early, it's not that warm out yet. They still pop up, and, obviously it took a little damage from the frost, but in the end, it looks like it's going to be just fine. The lettuce over here did fine. It's growing well. Was not covered during the frost. Pansies weren't covered, and they did just fine as well. Pansies are very cold hardy, and that is a Cat's plus Marina, I believe. It's a beautiful day today. Sun's finally popping out, but it took a while to get out. So let's come over here to the lettuce bed. Everything's looking really good here. Kind of tough to see with the netting on, but spinach, the red sail lettuce, purple fusion, that is a butter oak head lettuce right there. So all these I'm doing cut and come again, besides the head lettuce right here. But yeah, spinach looking beautiful. That was transplanted spinach. This is directly sown spinach, and it's starting to pick up. And back there, let me get over here so you can see that a little better. I don't know if you can see that. Yep, right there, that is a purple fusion lettuce. Come over here, I just planted this yesterday. This is a blue borage. Excited to grow that this year. It's a good companion plant. It's just a good flower to have in your garden. That's going to be all blue borage. Here's the strawberries. I did cover the strawberries, and they did just fine with the frost. I'm not expecting much from this year. I just want to get some growth. You can see some good new growth coming in there. Good new growth right there. They should start picking up here with the good temperatures that we're about to see. Lizard spinach was directly sown, and it's starting to grow well. That's supposed to be more heat tolerant, so we'll see how that goes. It should not bolt as quick is what they say. And there's some more there. I got to thin that a little bit more. But that is a lizard spinach as well. So I did a lot of lizard spinach because what it says is it's not going to bolt as quickly. And that's what I'm kind of looking for in my spinach and my lettuce. For the lettuce, the purple fusion is supposed to be slow to bolt as well and more heat tolerant. So that is kind of the type of varieties I'm looking for. Since we get a spring, it's been okay spring, and then it's going to go right up to high temperatures, and that's when the lettuce and spinach bolts. Take you over here. This is the red Norlands potato, and I did cover this. This is the only potato that has popped up so far for me, and you can see it did get damaged from the frost, and I did cover it. Still got damaged, but it's going to be just fine. I'm not very worried about it. It's going to bounce back, and we'll still get a nice harvest of potatoes. Back here, this is the red Pontiac potato, and that did not pop up quite yet. And this fabric pot, I just planted some lemon balm and some parsley, I think is how you say it. So that's just going to be some lemon balm and parsley. I don't really do much with lemon balm. I'm just trying to keep, mosquitoes and that stuff, type of insects out, and that should help repel them a little bit. So I just ordered 5 more fabric pots for some potatoes and flowers, and that's how I'm really going to add flowers to the garden. I'll sprinkle them in there, like, I'm going to put marigolds in there and nasturtiums. Right here, this is the Superior White, and you can see I just moved the soil a little bit, and it is about to pop out of the soil, so that's a good sign there. We're going to start getting some growth out of the soil for the Superior White. Actually, just wanted to add right here, this is the Santo cilantro, and you can see it did take a little bit of damage from the frost, but if you look in there, the new growth is looking just fine. You know, it does prefer the cool weather, so not a big deal that a little bit of damage on the outer leaves, but the new leaves right here are looking good. So that's going to do just fine and bounce back. So overall, not much damage from the frost. There's a little bit. The potatoes took the most damage, but everything's going to bounce back just fine, and it's really not that big of a deal. They took the frost just fine. It got down to 26. All next week in the 10-day, the lowest we have is a 35-degree night, and the rest are in the 40s and 50s. So hopefully we're turning the corner, and it's going to be warmer temperatures during the day and not so bad at night, and we're going to really start seeing some growth in the garden. So now we'll be talking about some beneficial nematodes and how I'm spraying that. It's going to be a little bit until I spray it. You can see the sun's out still, and I'm going to wait till it gets a little, darker out, let the sun set, and then I will be spraying the nematodes. All right, guys, so I'm going to be spraying these beneficial nematodes. I got 3 different kinds here. I'll put the names of them here. I'm not going to try and pronounce them, but right now it is about a little after 6. So you don't want to be spraying these in the middle of the day when the sun is at its hottest. Ideally, you'd be doing it, maybe around 7 as the sun's starting to go down this time of year. But I can't do it that late today, so I'm going to be doing it at 6. And, the sun is not that hot at this point of day, so it'll be okay. But they do not like the sun, and they can be killed by, strong sun. So they come in this package here. They get shipped. I think it's called Aerobic. I'll put the name of the company I got them from. But we got 3 different kinds here, and I got the 10 million. So there's 30 million total here. When they arrive, you want to put them, right into the fridge, unless you're going to be spraying them right away. But you definitely want to put them in the fridge. I got an ice pack in here, but by the time you get it, the ice pack is, no longer cold. So put them in the fridge right away. I got these on Thursday, and it is Sunday now. Little up close look at the names of these. And I'm mainly using these to attack the grubs of the Japanese beetles and any other pests. And also I want to have the nematodes in the ground, so when the cucumber beetle comes and starts laying, they can attack their grubs. Japanese beetles, grubs are in the ground all year, and then they start transforming into the beetles, in early to late spring. So now is a good time to put them out. And also, the cucumber beetles, they are only in the grub stage for a short period of time. But if I have the nematodes in the ground at that point, they will also attack them. So ideally, the best thing to use is a little weed sprayer, hose weed sprayer. Unfortunately, I only have this piston pump solo sprayer, so that's what I'm going to be using. I'm going to be doing 6 batches, 32 ounces. I'm going to split these up 6 times so I can spray in the different beds that I have. So you simply are just going to fill this up with water, 32 ounces. I'm using spring water just so I don't use the town water, which is chlorinated. It's kind of up in the air, if the town water would kill them. The chlorine could kill them, but usually it's low enough that it's not going to affect them, which is probably the case, but I'm still going to do it anyways. So I get a little up close. That's what it looks like. I'm going to split up these in the 6 and all 3 of them. So all 3 will be in each batch that I mix up, but there'll be 6 different batches. So you're just going to open it up. Be careful you don't lose too many. And then I'm going to knock it out into here. Just a certain amount. Then I'll close that up because I don't want to lose them. Put it back in the bag. And go on to the next one. You want to open it very carefully because you could lose it. All right. Get them out. I'm not doing exact measurement, which you could. But again, I'm just going to kind of split it up into 6 different batches. So this is 30 million nematodes right here. And I did a previous spray of 5 million each. So just trying to get my amount up. Okay. Once you do that, you're going to give this a nice little mix. Mix it all together. You might be hearing the church bells going off. But yeah, you want to mix it up real good so that, you know, it's all mixed together. Then I'll put it in my sprayer and I'll start spraying the beds. Like I said, a smaller container would work best. This is very big just for 32 ounces, but it's all I got. And that's what we'll work with. Another thing, if you have any filters and whatever spray you're using, you're going to want to take the filter out because it will get clogged up. So what I'll do, I got a piston pump here. So it's not ideal, but you just pump it. Now I'm just going to spray it really good. And you really want to get it into the soil. You don't want to be spraying too high from the soil. Really get it in the soil. Take care of any grubs in there. I'll be doing this to every bed and even some of the walkways. So you can see, ideally I would have a hose sprayer and not this, but it's what I got. I might do this again and purchase one of those sprayers. You can see that is all it's going to be right there, 32 ounces. I'm going to do it 6 times at the different beds. All right, so I sprayed most of the beds, especially around the raspberry. This is the 2nd time I've done it. Last time I really focused on this area. Now I hit all the beds. Now I'm going to water down everywhere that I put the nematodes. I'm going to water it down pretty good so that the soil is moist. You know, it is a little moist because we did have a lot of rain, but I want to make sure it's moist to make sure that the nematodes can get into the soil and survive until they do that. So that's where I'm going to wrap it up. Hope you enjoyed the video. It's a beautiful day out here. Hope you guys are getting out in the garden, planting, getting the garden ready. And if you enjoyed the video, please subscribe and we'll keep on putting out videos. And I hope you guys have a great day. Happy growing.